Hello, students. In this lesson, we will be covering more of the basics of scientific notation. This includes how to convert very small numbers to scientific notation and back. Finally, we will review how to convert from scientific notation back to decimal form. Now, in case you've missed it in the title of our video, this is the second part of a series of videos teaching scientific notation. We will provide links to other videos in the description. So just jump in wherever it would be most helpful. All right, let's start class. Now, let's look at the numbers that are smaller than 1. So number 2, if the original number, because remember, we're looking at the original number, is less than 1, make sure you remember the less than sign. And you can always write less out of the less than sign, okay? So if the original number is less than 1, then again, move the decimal point after the first non-zero digit. But this time, you're going to make it 10 to the minus moves for your power of 10. Let's do an example. 0.0000592. This number is pretty small because it's less than 1. Now I'm going to move that decimal point over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to be after the number 5, not in front of the number 5. Okay, so how do we write it out in scientific notation? So that would be 5.92 times 10 to the, now how many times did I move that decimal point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to say what? We're going to say a negative 5 because the original number is less than 1. Let's do another example. If we have 0.0062, then of course, you're so smart, you know that I've got to have the decimal point after the first non-zero digit, which is the 6, right? So all we have to do is move that decimal point over 1 space, 2 spaces, 3 spaces. So the answer in scientific notation would be 6.2 times 10 to the minus 3. Okay, now let's keep going. Let's go from scientific notation back to decimal form. This is pretty straightforward because all you have to do when you're going from scientific notation back to decimal form is to look at the power of 10. Now, let's look at those powers of 10. Let's do an example. If the power of 10 is positive, then make the decimal portion larger. Let's do an example. If we have 6.92 times 10 to the positive 4, then all we have to do is remember I've got to make the decimal portion larger by 4 moves because that's our power. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. See, I made 4 moves. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I moved the decimal point I move the decimal point over to make the decimal portion of the number larger. So we just write it out as 9200. Easy, huh? Let's now talk about if the power of 10 is a negative number. So if the power of 10 is a negative power of 10, then make the decimal portion smaller by whatever the power is. So let's do an example. 6.92 times 10 to the negative 4. Now you see that it's a 10 to the negative 4, which means that it's going to be a little bitty, itty bitty number, right? I now have to go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got to bring 1, 2, 3, 4, making it smaller by a magnitude of 4. So this number is 0. Let's put the decimal point in front. 0.0000692. Now I'm old, so I need to see sometimes that 0 point. Now that 0 point is just for me to see where the decimal point is. 0.00692. So in the literature, you'll see it both ways. And they mean the same thing, with the 0 point in the front or without it. Thank you for attending class. As a recap, when a number is less than 1, the power of 10 must be negative. During the conversion process, make sure to bounce the decimal point until it is after the first non-zero digit. We also went over reversing the process, specifically turning a number in scientific notation to decimal form. If there is a positive power of 10, make sure the decimal portion is larger than 1. Conversely, if there is a negative power of 10, make sure the decimal portion is smaller than 1. Once again, thanks for watching. We are A Friend in Chem, and our mission is to help students learn introductory chemistry. Our email is in the description, so if there's any way we can help make it easier for you to learn, please contact us. Until next time, take care.